Yo, what's up, sports freaks? Double R Ricky Rodriguez here on behalf of All Sports Media Team presents Triple V 2.0, episode number, I believe it's 7, The Road to the Big Dance. A lot of stuff has happened in the last 24 hours that has changed our show that was going to be tonight. And I say tonight because we are actually doing a show tonight, which will air tomorrow morning on YouTube at 9 a.m. We'll be doing this for the next 2 weeks due to the NFL playoffs being in the morning. We want you guys to be able to watch your favorite teams and still get to hear your All Sports Media squad. I got my guys right here. I got Coach Don below me. What's up, Coach Don? Doing his thing. George just got back from work, so he's a dedicated dude. We got George right there. And then my boy G, A+ Asensio, behind the Tommy Lasorda sign right here. We're all wearing blue or Dodgers something to honor the late, great Tommy Lasorda. Unfortunately, we lost Tommy last night. What I was told was cardiac. He'd been in the hospital for 7 weeks at that point. He had literally just got out like 2 days prior to his death, which sucks. We'll get into detail into that in just a little bit. We the NCAA football playoffs coming up. We're gonna talk about that. We got a pro player in the NBA who wants to buy a WNBA team. We got some college basketball news that's actually, I think, very smart on their part, what they're about to do. Some MMA news, some NHL news, including a brand new captain in Boston. We're going to talk a little history in the NBA. NXT New Year's Evil was ridiculous. I don't know if you saw it, Gilbert. It was epic. And then, of course, we're going to jump into the NFL playoffs. So, gentlemen, it's been a really hard day today, but I know y'all are amazing, and we're going to pull through this. So let's go ahead and do it. We're going to start with the college football, if you guys are okay with that. Obviously, Monday is a big day. There was rumors because of the Ohio State COVID issues that the game might not happen. If not obviously not happen, but it would be moved to next week. But I guess the game is still on the line. Number 3, Ohio State will take on number 1, Alabama. And we all know, we've already all said it, Alabama's walking away with it. I think they're going to smash Ohio State. I think they're going to beat them at least by 3 touchdowns. What do you think, G?
Oh man, I don't know, Ricky. I can't agree with you on that one. I don't want to see. I would like to see the underdog win, but we'll see what happens, man.
What do you think, George?
I wouldn't say it's like I wouldn't say they're gonna smash them, but I do pick Alabama to win. So if I would tell you the score, like my prediction will probably be measly 28 to 42.
Okay,
that's my predicted score.
28. Coach, you got any predictions for this one?
Alabama's the best squad by far, especially they're getting Waddell back, who would have been probably the Heisman Trophy winner if he didn't get hurt. But Ohio State would have to play a perfect game.
Yeah.
And with everything going on, they're probably not going to be able to. So, Alabama's going to win another chip.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be obvious on that one. And you actually just segued perfectly into what I was going to talk about next. A game is going to be at 5 o'clock on Fox. For you guys who are listening, 5 o'clock on Fox. Alabama, you said that guy wasn't going to get the Heisman because Alabama's Devontae Smith got the Heisman, as we all expected. He becomes only the 4th wide receiver to win the Heisman Trophy, which I think is kind of cool, joining Johnny Rodgers in 1972, Tim Brown in 1987, and Desmond Howard in 1991. That's a pretty good company, if you ask me, Coach.
Yeah, and his speech was amazing. I don't know if y'all heard it. He's a little guy, skinny, like 175. So it definitely was good for a lot of little guys, in sports, and not just in sports in general, but his speech was amazing. If you haven't heard it, go and highly recommend hearing it. And this is a dude that caught a touchdown in his freshman year to beat Clemson in the championship and capped it off with a Heisman, and he's going to win another chip on Monday.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to walk to another chip on Monday. Like you said, he's kind of reminds me of a lankier Jerry Rice, kind of. Not to that caliber, obviously. I think he's a little more flashy, if you ask me. But like Coach said, he's lanky, he's smaller. But that's cool that he stepped up because everybody's like, Clemson, Trevor Lawrence, and Josh Fields, like all these other names, quarterback, always quarterbacks. I think it's awesome that a wide receiver walked away with the trophy this year. I really do.
Yeah, he's closer to Marvin Harrison than a Jerry
Okay,
Rice.
I can see that. I can totally see
because
that.
of his route running, and because if you see him running routes, like he's separation. So Marvin Harrison's probably a better comparison.
Okay.
But yeah, there's been a lot of wide receivers and non-quarterbacks that have been worthier lately, but it's been a quarterback-driven award, and it's nice to see someone else get it. It'll be better when some defensive guys get it, like Chase Young should have got it last year.
Oh, I love Chase Young. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Yeah, but I like you said, it's cool to see something different happen finally, and the quarterbacks aren't running everything. However, Heisman runner-up Clemson's quarterback Trevor Lawrence, as everybody has expected, has declared for the NFL draft. With that said, it's been a hard day. With that said, do the Jags go after Lawrence or would you go after Fields? What do you think, Gilbert?
Oh man, from the if I was in the Jags office, I'll definitely go after Lawrence. I mean, that you start with a quarterback and then you work around the quarterback, right? I believe so. So I believe if they get a young quarterback in there and then go from there, man.
You think so, George? You think the same?
Yeah, I think the same because the Jags have been a pretty bad team all year. Like because of that, yes, they do. It starts with the quarterback. Like you need the quarterback, you need that engine that could go. So it's like you starting like a car. Like the most important thing has got to be in place first, which is Lawrence. So like once they get him, once they could have his skill set for that organization, I think the Jags could make some noise in the near future.
Yeah, you know what's funny is because the Jags used to be really good. Like I'm a Titans fan, obviously, and they gave us a run. We had fights with them for the division for years, and then out of nowhere, just boom, spiral, and they're gone. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting draft. And then if the Jags get Lawrence, then you got. Let me see. We're not going to get into the NFL, but I'll jump into that really quick with the draft. Then you have the Jets right after that. Jets really wanted Lawrence, and they messed up, winning 3 games in a row. I'm just like, wow. So, but do you think the Jets will stick with Darnold, or do you think they're going to go after Fields? What do you think, Coach?
Well, I think the Jags or the Jets should go hard after Deshaun Watson.
I agree.
Trade the pick to the Texans if possible. And build them up. I give whatever you want. Give up whatever they want to get, because he's the third best quarterback in the league, I think, in my opinion. But if they don't do that, Fields is probably the guy.
I could see him being in New York.
But if I was a Jet, I would trade down, keep Donald, and just get him a better coach, and just stack as many draft picks as possible.
There you go. That's what Gilbert was saying. You got to, or George was saying, build around him. So yeah, no, that's a good idea actually. I'm Watson. I mean, for doing as bad as they did this year, he held himself pretty good at that last game when we beat them. You could see that he was defeated, no pun intended. But him and JJ, the two captains, they just like, hey, we effed up, we screwed up. And JJ, they actually quoted JJ saying, I'm sorry we wasted your year. So I mean, if Watson walks, I mean, there's lots of teams that'll jump right on him. Washington. If Smith doesn't do his thing anymore, there's lots of teams that'll jump on him.
They don't got anybody. They don't got anybody to throw to, or so it's amazing what he did, but nobody.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And can you imagine?
Hopkins.
Yeah, Hopkins. But can you imagine it? Well, there's even rumor, or did they say someone said trade Kyler, bring in Deshaun, or something like that, reunite Hopkins. I was like, what the hell? Who the heck is writing this? This is on Instagram. I'm like, really? Come on now. But I mean, he could start anywhere. Like honestly, if he had a squad. And look at JJ at with me and Gilbert, I think talked about this. JJ in the middle of the season was like, "Hey, Pittsburgh looking pretty nice right about now," and his brothers are over there. Could you imagine all the Watt brothers together? That'd be scary. Gilbert, you're
That'd
thinking
be dangerous.
Yeah,
that'd be dangerous, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a quarterback going against that. That would just be insane. All right. Speaking of insane, unless y'all got any more college football, anybody? Anything else that I didn't cover? All right, cool.
Good.
Speaking of insane, we finally in January, finally got a big baseball deal that went down. All right. Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco are leaving Cleveland and heading to Queens. So in a 6-person deal, it's Carrasco and Lindor for 4 prospects to the New York Mets. So now the Mets are going to have Syndergaard, Stroman, Cy Young Award candidate / winner, Jacob deGrom, and now they got Cookie Carrasco. Sounds like a pretty good rotation if you ask me, Coach.
Yeah, I think, like I told you guys on the messages, I think Carrasco is the underrated pickup even more than Lindor, because he's more than a third starter, and he's going to be at best the third starter on the Mets. So the Mets are going after him. Lindor is just going to beast in New York.
Yeah, he's going to kill it.
He'll be the king of New York right now because the Yankees don't have anybody, that could stay healthy. So that's a star besides Judge, and he's hurt all the time.
Absolutely. Weren't the Dodgers pursuing Lindor?
They were, but I think they're going to stick with, Seager just went crazy this year, and I think they're going to go after him, and he's way more healthy and than they thought he was going to be.
Cool. He might have a little high set. That's a bad word to use with this guy. Seager at shortstop might have a big partner at second base. It's looking like Dodgers really pushing it for DJ LeMahieu right now. What do you think about that one, Gilbert?
Oh yeah, we were just talking about this the other show, man. Dodgers just trying to make some moves now, trying to get the whole team back together so they can make another run for the championship, man. Yeah. So we'll see if they can pick them up.
Well, can you imagine if they put DJ in the middle of, with Bellinger and that lineup? Oh my God, Seager and then freaking DJ and then Bellinger right behind. That would be sick. Pitchers couldn't get around that. There's no way. What do you think about that one, Coach?
No, DJ is amazing. He was caught into like the whole curls, only hitting for the Rockies, and that's and then he went and did it again with the Yankees, and he's been underrated for way too long.
I agree.
But I want, and I said this a couple weeks ago when I was on, but I want Bauer and just overpay him for 1 year and see what he does, and because the with their pitching, we need to match up.
Yep. Coach is on the Segway train right now. I was literally going to Bauer next. Trevor Bauer talking to the Blue Jays. All right. I know. That's the face I made. He's talking to the Blue Jays. They don't even know if they're going to be in Toronto. It's like, how do you make a pitch to someone? Hey, we don't even know where our home's going to be, but let me pitch you this, I mean, the money talks, but he's talking to Blue Jays, but he's also talked to the Angels. He's talked to the Mets. He's talked, obviously, to the Dodgers. I don't know. Trevor, like Coach said before in a couple shows ago, Trevor Bauer is a character, bro. Like, that guy is very outspoken, and what he wants, he'll go for. He knows what he wants. He's just stirring the pot, trying to see who's going to come after him next, And
right.
Does he have a big name agent, Coach? Do you know, or is he a Rosen?
He's not a Boris guy.
He's not a Boris guy. Okay, you never know. Boris owns everybody, so.
Because if it was a Boris guy, he wouldn't be talking as much as he is.
That's true. That's so true.
Keeps the guys quiet. And do the talking and
yeah.
Bauer's on another level. I don't know if you want to talk about it right now, but he called out something 2 years ago before anybody else did.
Go for it. We got time.
Yeah, he called out the Astros pitching cheaters from an Angel coach, by the way.
Yeah, we heard that just recently.
That way before it was a time, and people threw it to the wayside, and I mean, true right now, and the guy's countersuing.
Yeah,
he's the defendant, but he's countersuing the MLB, saying he was the
wrongly terminated
and all that.
Yeah, no, I heard about
the
it.
Astros are caught up in it, but it's not just the Astros; it's
a lot of people. Yeah,
Scherzer and a lot of big names. Just the Astros, and a bunch of starting with Percival, who was one of my favorite Angels. So
yeah, Troy Percival said it.
He's the one that started it.
Yeah, I believe it. It's so. I mean, I was a former catcher, and if you're part of a battery, man, you see things. it's so easy to doctor a ball. Like I think they said it was rosin, tar, and then like this other make of tar.
And they light it up and they make a gooey substance and put it
Yeah,
on.
how hard is that to make? And if you're in the bullpen, no one can freaking see you. Like there's all kinds of crap you can do. So I'm just putting that out there. Gilbert or George, I haven't talked to you yet. How do you feel about the what coach just brought up, the pitchers doctoring the ball and finally getting caught, and mainly most of them being Astros again?
Oh man.
Well,
Go ahead, George.
Go ahead, George.
I call Astros the cheating team.
Call them the asterisk.
Yeah.
The hat made. I've seen the
Like
hat.
I said on the show before, the Astros, like when they got caught cheating, they should have been strapped down by their championship, because like what they did was so unnecessary, and that shows how premature they had to go through to win that championship. So if I was a Dodger fan, like I'll be really upset.
Well, you got one right next to you, so you can talk to him about it.
Exactly. So like every matchup that the Dodgers go against the Astros, I'll take it really personally and not shake hands.
Oh yeah,
I don't like you.
Beanball
You
war.
know, I'm not your friend.
Well,
I'm gonna
that
do
would have
whatever
happened this
it
year if there was, fans and stuff.
Fans.
Maybe-
If there was fans, yeah.
Altuve, Altuve got railed like the very first game in preseason. So it happened, but it wasn't as big because no fans, no hoopla, nothing like that.
I'm glad that happened
Oh, I am
because
too.
they
We talked about
deserve
this.
every bit of it.
Their BS apology, and now they'll probably come out with another BS apology.
I wasn't buying the apology at all. And even if their apology is so sincere, I wouldn't buy it either, because what is that gonna do for the baseball team? Like, fine them is just not good enough. It's just chump change for them.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, come on now. Like, they should get penalized more than that, because you're representing the MLB and you have to represent it the right way, and you got to respect the fact that you're trying to be a better team by your personnel and by your skill set, not by cheating.
Yeah.
And like I said, like, cheater, like they all said, and you guys will agree to this, cheaters never prosper. So in the long run, I don't think the Houston Astros will prosper on the way they handle certain situations.
Absolutely. Well, we talked about this before. It's like, if you ask me as a baseball fan, I'm on the outside. I'm not a Dodger fan. I'm an Astro fan. Actually, matter of fact, I can't stand the Astros. But everybody's like, oh, just give the title to the Dodgers. Give the title to the Dodgers. I'm going to go to coach after this. Give the title to the Dodgers. Give the title to the Dodgers. Me as a ball fan, I think the Dodgers shouldn't get the titles for that year. But hear me out. The Astros should be stripped. Astros and the Red Sox, both years. They both were screwed. They both screwed over the Dodgers. They both should have their titles ripped from them. All, whatever's in the history books should be gone. They should return their rings, and then
100%.
Yeah, they shouldn't have it. And then, I mean, honestly, if they would have caught this way earlier, they could have replayed whatever game it was. I think it was with the Astros Dodgers 7. Was it 7? I believe it was. And then Boston, I think it was 6 or something. But either way, you guys could have replayed it. So I always believe that, you never know what would have happened. But that's just my standpoint. Gilbert, what standpoint do you have on that? And then we'll move on to something after Coach.
Oh, I definitely agree with you on this one, Ricky. It's disgusting just to know that players went out there and they literally cheated, and the players on the Dodgers, they play their heart out, and for them to get cheated out of a championship, man, if I was one of those players, I would be really pissed off. And if I was an Astros player right now, I wouldn't even want to play for the Astros, because going back to the Dodgers stadium once they do have fans, I'll be fearing my life because no fans, they'll probably try to kill me or something, man.
No,
so
true.
But definitely, I'm just disgusted that they went about that way just to win the World Series. They couldn't play them fair and square, and it's disappointing.
I'm gonna go to Coach now, because this is his team right here. So, where are you at, Coach? What do you stand on this?
Well, nobody should be just given a title.
I agree.
Right? I don't believe in that. You got to earn whatever you get.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe that they should have been removed, because everybody saw that they won. Just like with Reggie Bush stripping the Heisman. Cheated or not, he won the Heisman. It is what it is. I would have been more proactive as far as banning them the next couple of years,
That'd be good.
from the playoffs.
Yeah,
So they have
does that.
162 games in the regular season, minus COVID, and know it for a fact that they can't play in the playoffs.
I like
So
that.
we're going to lose players because the players are going to want to play in the playoffs. They'll leave. They're going to lose financially way more than the $5 million that they paid.
Mm-hmm.
And their fans are going to know that they're going to play a whole season for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the colleges do that all the time. They're banned from bowls and they still play.
I agree.
So that's a better punishment. Stripping a title, everybody they saw that they won.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. You put an asterisk on it, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But there's a bigger punishment down the line that could not just. I would only do a 2-year suspension, but 2 years would lead to like 10 to 15 years of punishment because of their morale and everything, and how people think about it. People leaving their team and not wanting to play, and it would cost them a lot more than just $5 million.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's good from a coach's standpoint, you guys. So he knows what he's talking about. Let's go ahead and jump. Let's get into a happier mode here. From a bunch of cheaters and bad things going on to more history being made in the Boston Red Sox organization. This is big for us because we support women in quote unquote male sports. And it's so funny because last show I literally said when baseball brings the women in, that's when stuff is turning. The Boston Red Sox have hired not only the first female coach, the first African American female coach. She will be a position coach. She's going to be in the minor league system to start. Her name is Bianca Smith, and she's going to be the first female coach. I think that's freaking awesome. Double awesome with the African American thing. George, I'm going to go to you. How do you feel about hearing something like this, especially with everything that's going on?
No, I feel like it's great. It's great for the MLB because number one, like you said, the first women to coach the MLB team, but also to be like an African American. Because like as an African American myself, I take pride in that because now that just goes to show you that like the food chain from like the race is like shifting a little bit in terms of like our American society today. So I think like with that, like I think it's good for the MLB because like then like what you said, that actually reminds me of Jackie Robinson being like the first black male athlete to play in the Major League Baseball, which I'm really proud of because that shows that like blacks could run the same races as whites. Sorry, Don. But yeah, anyway.
Don's not white. He's light skinned, remember?
Yeah, he's light skinned. He's black at heart. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I think it is good for MLB because then like that shows that there's a corner that's turning and it's gonna continue turning more as our world as our days goes on.
No, I agree. I think like I said last show, I'm like once they're actually on the field playing a position, we've broken it. It's in baseball because it's so traditional. You're a coach, Don. How do you feel hearing that there's finally a female? We've got football, we've had female coaches, basketball, Becky, but now we finally in not MLB, but pretty damn close. We got a female coach. Not only that, but an African American female coach.
Well, I think the African American part is more important right now, at least for me.
Yeah.
Because the female being part of baseball is really great. Jessica Mendoza, I think.
I love Jessica Mendoza. Go on.
She would have been a coach if she wanted to be. She wanted to be in the front office, and she's done a great job. But the African American part means a lot to me because growing up in baseball, and Ricky, you did the same. A lot more African Americans playing when we were kids than they are now, and there's a lot more stars in the '80s and before that, African Americans, and now there's very few. And it's just sad to see, a lot of the best that would be amazing at baseball, and I love the sport, not playing it. And there's a bunch of reasons why. But that's the bigger emphasis and the bigger impact is the African American part.
Absolutely.
And hopefully that leads to more African Americans playing the sport.
Yeah. Absolutely. Especially again with everything going on, the timing couldn't have been better.
Definitely.
After what LeBron said the other day, which we'll get into when we do NBA. It's pretty crazy. I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking what the Dodgers just went through. Not only losing one person in their family, but two. And there's one guy I'm really, really thinking of right now that my heart really goes out to this guy right now, and that's Vin Scully. Y'all know how much I love Vin Scully. He's the GOAT to me. He's my idol. He's my mentor. He's everything I wanted to be. But
He's a chick current of baseball.
he is. Well, bro, he just lost his wife, Sandra Scully, just a few days before what happened last night when we lost the legendary Tommy Lasorda. Like, I can't even imagine what Vince Scully's going through right now. I can't imagine what the Dodger organization is going through right now. It's hard to lose a family member, let alone two family members back to back. And someone as massive as Vince Scully and now having to deal with both of those, so rest in peace to Sandra Scully. Prayers go out to Vin and his family, the Dodger organization, for their loss there. And like I said, Vin's got double loss. It's gonna be so hard. Like, I'm trying not to cry here, but it's so hard. It just, the story of Tommy going makes me sad because we all, like, I think Coach sent it earlier. We all knew this was coming, but it's so sad because he's been in the hospital for 7 weeks. He literally just got out like 2 days ago, and then he dies. But me as a Christian man, I think of it this way. He was home with his family. His family got to be with him on his last breath and got to be with him. I was sad earlier and I was crying and I was just like, I can't believe this happened. The fact he just got out of the hospital, I was mad. I was angry. But then I thought about it from that standpoint. I'm like, he got to be with his family. They were there with him. His wife was there. His kids were probably there. So from a dad standpoint, this is tearing me apart. From a baseball standpoint, we lost another legend, you guys. Honestly, I wanted to take time. It could be a game that you saw. It could be you as a child, something you went through. I just want to hear some stories if you guys have any. I'll go quick because I have mine are really easy, really quick. I have two. I actually have my baseball in my other room. I have a ball signed by him, and it says "To Richard, a future Dodger," which is kind of funny because then I grew up to be an Angel fan. But I was 6 years old. I went to Pace at the time. So it wasn't Sam's Club, it was Pace. And Tommy was selling spaghetti sauce because his son was going to surgery and he needed extra money. And he was doing, if you buy 2 cans, you get an autograph and a picture, something like that, which I thought was awesome. So I got to meet him at age 6. But my next story, Gilbert knows this story. I work at Angel Stadium, obviously. Tommy, this was like 2 years, not even 2 years ago. Last time that we were allowed to be there. So last year when we played the Dodgers, Tommy 92 years old at the time. Tommy was walking around, he had a handler with him to make sure he'd be okay. He had to go to the bathroom, and me being the concourse captain usher, I have to clear that area. There was people in there. I had to take them out. Got them out. We blocked it, which was good and bad at the same time. It was good because we were able to get Tommy in, get his handler in, do what they got to do. But people see, hey, why is there an usher blocking the bathroom? What's going on? Let me stand and wait and look. So Tommy goes in, does his thing. We literally had security. It was crazy. We had security at the bathroom door, had myself and my crew at the bathroom door. But the crazy part, Tommy comes out, there's a mob, and Tommy's like, I look at Tommy and I'm just like, this happens a lot, doesn't it? And he just laughed at me. He just laughed and he's like, yeah, I'm kind of used to it. He's like, it's all right though. He got his cane, he got his handler, and they started walking to the gate. Mind you, we went extra innings that game. So it's probably like 10th, 11th inning at that time. This dude's 92 years old. He's probably freaking tired. So he's almost to our gate, which is pretty far from our bathroom if you've been to Angel Stadium. He's almost to the gate, and this little boy, probably 6 years old, runs up, tugs on his leg, and go, Mr. Tommy, Mr. Tommy. He didn't even call him Lasorda. Mr. Tommy, can I please take a picture with you? Tommy was out the gate. He comes back in the gate, gives the kid a hug, mind you, pre-COVID, gives the kid a hug, takes like 6 selfies, signs a bunch of stuff for him, and then goes out. That's the Tommy Lasorda I remember. That kid's going to remember that the rest of his life. I'm 36. I met him when I was 6. I still remember every detail. That's the Tommy I remember. George, do you have any stories, either games you've seen, things, the way Tommy carried himself, being a badass manager that he was? Like, what kind of stories you want to shoot me?
I mean, I don't have a lot, but I just remember hearing his name when I was at Angel Stadium, and I'll get those programs and I'll like read a little bit about who he is, and yeah, I think that's what I remember. Like I don't know a whole lot about him. Like you said, like he's a great guy. Like he does so much for the Dodgers fans and for the Dodgers organization. So with that, like he leaves like a great legacy behind what he did for the Dodgers. So that's all I
Mhm.
could say about that. It
He
just
was,
sucks that he's just gone.
yeah, I mean, he was an ambassador for baseball too. After he left the Dodgers, he went into the front office. He coached Team USA in the Summer Olympics to a gold medal. Um, I don't remember what All-Star game it was, but he got hit. It might have been 2001. And he got hit by Vladimir Guerrero's bat that broke, and he fell
Ooh.
backwards and rolled over in the All-Star game. It was hilarious. Barry Bonds came out, gave him a chest protector. It was hilarious. It was typical Tommy. Gilbert, what do you got?
I don't have any personal stories. I never got the chance to meet him personally, but from what I heard from you and from what I've been hearing from other people, just what kind of guy he was, man. It would have been nice to get to know him, but um, just sad just hearing the news because how he was in a hospital and he got to spend his last few days with his family, and it is tragic. But what I do gotta say is he did leave a great legacy with the Dodgers, with everything that he did for the team, and I remember hearing this earlier this morning where he said winning the Olympics was
Mm-hmm.
his achievement,
Mm-hmm.
something like that, right?
Yeah.
And man, this guy, he's a diehard Dodger fan, man. Like diehard Dodger fan.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this guy, he loves his team, and you can only respect him.
Yeah.
And you can even respect him even more just by the way he carries himself. So
Yeah. Both on and off the field.
exactly. So my condolence goes out to him and his family.
Absolutely. Coach, you got to watch him at the stadium. You saw what kind of coach he was, what maybe some coaching standpoints that you saw maybe, and then just a memory or two.
Well, first, there's two guys that are the face of LA baseball, LA Dodger baseball, Vince Scully and Tommy Sorta.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that a coach could be the face of a team is amazing. That's how big his personality was.
Mm-hmm.
He was best friends with Frank Sinatra.
Yep.
Frank Sinatra was a Giants fan.
I didn't know that.
He got Frank Sinatra to sing the national anthem wearing all Dodger gear for his birthday.
That's awesome.
It wasn't his birthday. It was his first game ever in 1977.
Okay.
So as a present to Lasorda, he wore all Dodger gear and sang the national anthem at a Dodger game.
Awesome.
Never did. But he was bigger than the Dodgers. He was bigger than baseball. Nobody bled Dodger blue more than him, and he's the best storyteller. Him and Vince Scully are amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A little bit, but I heard a story today that, and I already knew it, but it reminded me of, he played for the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
So, a sorry
subpar pitcher.
an average left-handed pitcher, and early 1960s,
Mm-hmm.
there was a rookie that was coming up, and he was out of rights. They would have to let him go or keep him on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
So they decided to keep him on the roster, and they had to drop somebody to the minors, and that was Tommy Lasorda.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was Sandy Koufax.
I knew you were going to say that.
And so Sandy Koufax, and then Lasorda, the joke he would always say is that if it wasn't for me, Sandy Koufax would never be who he was. Because I get, even though, like Tommy was barely a major leaguer, as far as talent wise, but
Mm-hmm.
he's amazing. He always says he'd be with, in order to get to heaven, you have to go through Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
And so he's definitely going to be missed. But, I like you said, when he was going home, from the hospital, I think he just wanted to die at home. I don't think he was getting better. I think people think he was getting better. He had COVID, I guess, also. And, so the fact that he was still alive is amazing because he's had at least 4 or 5 heart attacks, I believe, ever since like the late 80s. There's been a lot of close calls, and he's not the healthiest guy. I was listening to sports radio, and they're just sharing for the whole Fred Rogan and Rodney Peete show. That's all they did because they were close friends with him. They shared stories and had people call, and 90% of the stories were, I saw Tommy Lasorda at a restaurant.
Yeah.
It was mainly around food, and the dude liked his food. He liked to eat. And it was crazy that he was on Slim Fast for a while, the spokesman for Slim Fast. We're just losing a lot more of these guys. And what you were saying about Vince Scully is that his wife was just as part of Dodger baseball as he was. And he wouldn't have done what he's done without her.
Absolutely.
And they were married 56 years as a Christian man. That's amazing because 50% of marriages is divorce. And that's and the legacy both of those guys have and what she left. And because there's always a female around behind the man, right? If there's a strong man, there's always a stronger female. I wouldn't be where for my wife, and that's hits home closer. Actually, closer to me than Tommy is what Vinny's going through, and it's just tough.
Yep. It's a double whammy, man. It was sad enough when Vin's wife went down. I'm just like, okay, Vin's probably hurt. And then I hear this. I didn't believe it at first. There's some deaths where you just don't believe it. I saw it. Someone posted it. I'm like, don't even joke. That's not even funny. Because I had heard 2 days ago that he got out of the hospital. I was like, okay, cool. Maybe he'll, just be rest, hospice, whatever. And then I hear that and I'm like, no, that can't be true. There's no way that's true. I go to Google, it's not there. So I get in an argument with my friend on Facebook. And then, 20 minutes later, I found it. And I was just like, just shattered. And you don't have to be a Dodger fan for your heart to shatter today. It's just that simple. I mean, I want to leave it at that.
I just want to throw something out real quick.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was happy that he probably got to see the Dodgers win their last championship.
That's right.
Well, before he did pass, so I'm pretty sure he was happy because of that as well.
Maybe like Coach said, he was waiting around for that, and then waiting to be with family. He knew.
Definitely.
Like, honestly, I'm not going to be a jerk. Like, you could see how much he was struggling when he was at the stadium last year. But as bad as his body, this is what I'll give you for Tommy. As bad as he was hurting, as much pain as he was in, and you could see it when he was walking, he stopped for that kid. He gave hugs. He took pictures. He smiled. He always smiled, unless you were an umpire. He always smiled. That's one thing I always noticed about Tommy my 10 years working at Angel Stadium. That he always smiled, and he always was classy, unless you were an umpire. He was classy with people, so that's
he never turned down an autograph.
No, never.
A kid.
Never.
He would tell him off sometimes, but as a kid, he never turned him away. And I just highly recommend everybody to go listen to the Dave Kingman interview.
Okay.
Him talking about Dave Kingman. It's one of the best interviews ever. There's a lot of cuss words bleeped out. It's amazing. That's like Tommy Lasorda in a nutshell.
Yeah.
They asked Dave Kingman beat him. He was a big dude, right? Uh-huh. And he had 3 homers against the Dodgers, and they beat the Dodgers. And someone asked, like, what do you think of his performance? And he went on like a 5-minute cuss interview asking, what the bleep you want me to talk about? What do you think, man? It's amazing. And that sums up Lasorda in a nutshell.
Yeah. Tommy was very, 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 very outspoken, especially like
super animated.
I made a joke when they pulled manager arguments, like the whole challenge thing. I'm like, Tommy would be crying, right? Because he was still alive. I'm like, Tommy would be roll over crying right now if he saw this, and he'd be getting in the face of whoever it is that made this stupid rule, because nothing was more exciting at a baseball game than a Tommy Lasorda argument. I'm just saying.
Well, definitely. He beat up the Philly Fanatic.
I rememed that with his own doll, with his own Dodger doll.
Yeah, he took him out. He threatened to beat up the chicken from San Diego. So, Lasorda's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be so hard to segue out of this. I mean, something as amazing as Tommy Lasorda. In the nutshell, Vin Scully, Dodgers organization, Major League Baseball, our hearts go out to all of you for the loss of your wife and for the loss of the legendary Tommy Lasorda. May they all rest in paradise. Okay, let's move on. I just have a real quick WNBA story. Actually, it's LeBron, but we're talking from one legend to another. LeBron James is interested in pulling a Derek Jeter. He's interested in getting a team together to purchase the Atlanta Dream. What do you think about that, Gilbert?
Oh man, we knew this day was gonna come. As LeBron James is just he's a business-minded person, man. If it wasn't the Atlanta Dream, he probably would have bought the Cavaliers, man. But,
Can you imagine that? Imagine that.
Yeah,
Jonas Ogauskas rolling into his grave.
Bro, that would be insane. He already owns the freaking state. That would be freaking nuts if he became
Anderson Varejao rolling into his grave.
That would be insane. Okay, George, you're making comments. What do you think about LeBron possibly buying a WNBA team?
I think that's great because then it removes who's that other racist white woman that owns it?
Kelly Loeffler.
Pretty much. There you go.
Willie Rofer.
Yeah.
She needs to get out of there immediately because with all this happening, she doesn't deserve to be an owner anymore.
Anybody
She's
who's
it's with along the lines with Donald Sterling when he was like the owner of the NBA. I hated Donald Sterling for what he did. It was just depressing to see. But I think with LeBron James, he's a G said, he's a business-minded person, and after his career, whether it's all said and done, he's going to be a great owner for any future endeavors that he has planned in the future.
Absolutely. And he won't be afraid. I'll go to Coach in a minute. He's not going to be afraid to go after the big stars. He's not going to be afraid to make deals to get.
Oh no! Look what he did.
Anybody, if Sue's still playing or whoever. I mean, Diana's I think retiring after this year, but big names. The names that are just coming up. The college girls that'll be in the WNBA.
And that's what LeBron James is good at. He's really good at recruiting certain players or certain people to be in his business for him to be more successful. And that's why he's been successful for 18 years in the NBA. He was young, but he's grown so much as a man. He's a guy that lived without a father. So that made him even made him even more motivated for him to be better as a person and even as an athlete.
Absolutely. Coach, go for it. I know you got something.
Yeah, it's not even a business decision. It's more the person owning the team and getting out. And that's why I think he's going for it. And it's not just LeBron. There's other NBA guys involved, and Mookie Betts from the Dodgers is involved. So it's great to see guys following in Kobe's footsteps and supporting the WNBA. Absolutely. The female hoopers, they've been on the front lines of the movement.
Absolutely.
For quality and everything, even more so than the NBA, even before the NBA was.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that.
A lot more, and they were doing it before anybody noticed.
Yeah.
It's good that the NBA guys are, putting back because they need to support the league or it won't survive.
Absolutely.
Right.
Until it get to a certain point. The NBA guys got to support it. If more NBA guys went to the games, more people are going to go to the games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they'll have more
NBA guys as well. If I know Kobe's supporting it, Kobe fans are going to support it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Oh yeah.
There's a bigger purpose behind it all.
Yeah. Yep.
And not only that, the WNBA players, man, they ball out. They ball out. I don't know why people are not so they're not entertained as much as watching WNBA compared to NBA. But when I watch WNBA, the Minnesota Lynx and the Sparks, I think they went to the finals 4 times in a row, and those games were entertaining to me, man.
Oh yeah,
they were, especially when the Sparks won off the Nneka Ogwumike winner.
Yeah,
I was going crazy that day that the Sparks actually won their third title, so I was actually proud.
I I think you and me, George, a couple weeks ago, we talked about this. Like there's teams that are up and coming, and there's teams that have just been killing it for years. You know, the Houston Comets in the earlier years with the Cash and people like that, and then you get Seattle is killing it right now. You know, Phoenix, early years New York, and now we got Connecticut's killing it, and of course LA. Like they're up and coming, and the girls we're talking to now, all of them can play. Guaranteed.
I was just about to say, like all the girls that we interviewed already, they're balling out too.
Absolutely,
so
and we still got more to come that are going to be even more awesome. Speaking of the younger women, we're gonna jump to college real quick. I honestly don't have any college female stories today, or female. Wow, I am out of it today. I'm sorry. College women's basketball. Usually there's some upsets. There wasn't any huge upsets or any huge crazy scores like last week when we had like, what was it, 112 to 26 or something like that.
Oh yeah,
that was insanity. That was insanity. The rankings, let me see. They're still the same. South Carolina, UConn, North Carolina State, Louisville, and Stanford. Nothing's changed. I'm personally, I don't know where North Carolina State came from. I said this last week. I'm saying it this week. I don't know where they came from. I don't know how they're still in the number 3, but they are. It's crazy, Coach. I don't know.
It's a crazy year, regardless. Like Liberty and like in football, Liberty and Coastal Carolina in the top 10 at one time.
Yep.
15, which is that's still insane to me. Liberty's a small Christian college.
Yep.
They were in the top 20. But the fact that just that teams are finishing or getting ready, trying to put in games and not getting postponed. Women still, were postponed a bunch of games, and the fact that there's some teams that haven't postponed one game, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That their dedication and going through it, and luck also, who they're playing isn't doing it, but it's just going to be interesting here. I just hope that March Madness does happen, and because that week, the first 4 days of March Madness is the best 4 days of sports in the whole year.
I agree.
I'll argue that. I'll watch that over the Super Bowl. I'll watch it over anything, any pro activity. The first 4 days, the first 2 rounds, especially the men's, and the females getting better. The females. It's better at like the Elite 8, but the men's tournament is just on another level.
That's happened. That's awesome. And aren't they supposedly they're trying to extend from 64 to more, from what I heard?
It's gonna be, and it's all gonna be in a bubble in Indianapolis this year.
Yeah, that's where you're on fire, Coach. That was my next thing.
Right. Whenever you need to take a break, I got you, Ricky.
Go ahead. No, they're all going to be playing in Indy. They're going to be in Indy, you guys. So, which I think is awesome. I think that's smart. It's going to be difficult to get 82 teams or 64 teams into it, but hey, whatever's safer, by all means, go for it. It might be more efficient too, because you don't have to worry about travel and all that stuff. But I agree with you 1,000,000%. The first part of March Madness is absolutely epic. So, Gilbert, what do you think? You got a little something going on in your head over there?
Yeah, dude. I was about to say, can't wait to March Madness, man. It's, like Coach says, the first few games, man, they're just crazy. You can see so many upsets. Not only that, just like the games are going back and forward, man. I just can't wait to it starts.
Yeah, the name that always comes back to me is Loyola of Chicago. A couple years ago, man, they got the Final Four. No-name school got to the Final Four. No, thank you. Sorry. People are trying to feed.
Yeah, George Washington made it to the final,
Yeah, Robert Morris, they got pretty far when
Butler was a 3-point away from beating Duke in the championship.
I remember that.
Right.
I remember.
I never rooted against Duke so much. And that Gordon Hayward from the half-court line, that rimmed out. That would have been the best time in the history of basketball.
Yeah, and that's the thing about college basketball. You never know what you're going to see.
Yeah,
you never know. The Richmond game, like so many games. The Grant Hill game, there's things you're never going to forget, And it just goes on, and you're just like, wow. And highlights for years. That's all I can say.
I had a close friend win the championship for Arkansas.
Oh, wow.
He was the NCAA Player of the Year, Big Nasty. He played in the league. Corliss Williamson and you know, it was cool finding, you know, they won in '94. They beat Duke, which I was even more ecstatic because
There you go.
You don't like Duke, coach?
I despise Christian Laettner is my most hated player ever in the history of the sport. But
Looks
but
like
then
you're not
next year they played Ed O'Bannon, the Bannon brothers in UCLA, and UCLA knocked them off. And I never lost so much money betting.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's coming back to.
The dude Bailey had the only game of his entire life, in what he had the best game of his life. If it wasn't for that, they would have went back to back. I was so mad. It just made me hate UCLA even more. So
Hey, Coach Don is not a Mike K fan at
I'm
all.
dying right now.
hey, my K fan, yeah, but Christian Laettner, no, because Elton Brand's ever. I love those two guys, but Christian Laettner, and then Grayson Allen is like the second coming of Christian Laettner.
That's so funny.
So those two guys,
The
I
Tripper?
despise the most.
Yeah.
The Tripper.
Oh, he's definitely a
Yeah.
trooper. Do they have any word? Sorry, do they have any word on Coach K if he's going to be coming back soon? Because I know he was on protocol.
Well, I think he is, but he doesn't even want the season to happen.
Of
But
course not. They're not. It's nasty over there in that area. From what I'm
Yeah,
hearing, they've
so,
canceled so
you
many.
know, it just shows that the college athletes should be paid because they're not. There's no other college students on campus.
Uh-huh.
So if it's about college athletes and school first, that's a bunch of BS because there's
Mhm.
campus, yet they're making the basketball players be on campus.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You
No,
know,
I-
The topic the other day.
and it's getting that much closer to them getting paid. So I think next year they could actually get paid.
I hope so because they're in hazard right now. They're in hazardous areas.
Mhm.
They're in
Yeah,
hazardous
so
stations.
but they could get paid off their likeness. So like
They
Mark,
should, and they should. Their names on the freaking jersey. They should.
Yeah.
USC marketing is going to be on point though. USC
Oh yeah.
be back on the map because they're going to be able to do whatever they want and pay the guys.
Of
I
course.
just want to throw this out there real quick, since Coach mentioned it. I noticed EA Sports is actually gonna start paying for the likeness of the players,
And they should.
so they could start making college games and basketball games again. So they're gonna be making some type of money from their likeness. So that's good.
I've been saying it for years that they should be making money. Yes, they're college students, but they're adults and they should be able to freaking make money off of this kind of stuff.
Every college athlete should thank Ed O'Bannon.
Yep.
Changed the game suing the NCAA.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for Ed O'Bannon, nobody'd be getting paid right now or about to get paid. So, Ed O'Bannon had a tough NBA career, but he's done so much for college athletes.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be amazing.
It's so
About
true,
time.
though. It's so true though. Speaking of college, we're gonna get one more thing and then we're gonna jump into something else. The rankings have changed for the men. I didn't see too many huge upsets. We had a couple unranked beat like some 17s and some 25s and stuff. I usually don't do it unless it's the top 10. Our rankings did change though. We got our top 5. We got Iowa at 5, Texas is at 4, Nova's at 3, Baylor and Gonzaga. So you got Iowa in there now and Texas has dropped. So cool, expected, not expected.
Well, Texas just demolished Kansas, so that's kind of
They
surprising.
did.
Kansas
Yeah, they
are the
did.
most ever. But, nobody's beating Gonzaga.
No, they're gonna be like the Alabama of basketball this year. They're just gonna trounce.
Suggs is the best player in college basketball, I think, as a freshman. And they've been a great program for so long that they're finally getting the talent to back up the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put the two together, you see what happens. Number 1 team in the country by far.
Absolutely, I 1000% agree with you, sir. Okay, so we got a fight going there. We're gonna have some fights going in the MMA. I don't have too many MMA stories. We got just pretty much updates of stuff we talked about before. Israel Adesanya. We talked about this last week, Coach. Israel Adesanya is moving up a weight class. He's tired of being in the class that he was. He's going to move up to lightweight, trying to get more gold.
Well, he's not tired. There's no one to beat.
He's dominated the division. That's
So
what
there's
Ian
no
Gilbert
match.
talked about. Yeah, he's just dominated. He's done. He's over it.
He's the best. He's the best pound per pound fighter in the game right now.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. And it's so funny if you see him, you're like, oh well, he's lanky. No, he's not. He's built, but he can move. And he's not like super like Brock Lesnar, Daniel Cormier status, but he's a beast, man. He's a beast, and I can see him running right through the lightweight division with no problem.
Yeah, the dude he's fighting is super powerful. The guy at light heavyweight, but you know, if he doesn't stay close and let the dude get a punch on, he'll win easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Another big match, January 23rd. We talked about this one. Some people are really excited about this one. Some people are like, nah, whatever. Poirier, McGregor 2. I believe they fought before. Poirier versus McGregor, January 23rd. I'm excited, but I'm really not, because I always say Conor McGregor is the Roger Clemens of the UFC. He leaves, he comes back. He leaves, he comes back. You know, like, Gilbert, come on, talk to me.
Oh man, I don't even know what to say, Ricky. I mean, wasn't Conor McGregor out for a little bit? He's coming back,
Well,
right?
he retired, bro. He retired, and then he did whatever he did, and now he's coming back to fight Poirier. He came back once already, and then left again. Now he's fighting. This will be like his third return, and now he's fighting Poirier on January 23rd. There's a cool part to this, though, because I think he's the BMF champion, whatever the championship that The Rock gave him. Khabib Nurmagomedov. I can't say his last name. I try. I just can't do it. Khabib wants the winner of this match. So we might get McGregor versus Khabib again, and Khabib absolutely crushed him the last time they fought each other. So
yeah, I'll be looking more forward to that one right there.
yeah, the Khabib's a beast, dude. Khabib's a beast. Like, no, I don't know who's gonna go through him. 2 more matches. One you can actually see on national TV, which I think is kind of cool that UFC is doing this. Qatar versus Holloway. That's going to be a big one on UFC Fight Night. That's going to be on ABC on January 16th. So it's coming up. So make sure you check that one out. Holloway's a pretty BA fighter. He's a pretty awesome fighter. And then the other one we talked about last week, Gilbert, Nunez against Anderson. Amanda Leona Nunez defending her title for the featherweight title against this new girl, Megan Anderson. I've never heard of her, but like we said before last week, we didn't know who Holly Holm was.
Right.
She took out Ronda Rousey.
Mm-hmm.
So what, Coach? You got something? I can see it.
Nunez is on another level, though.
Yeah, she is.
You know, she's by far the best female fighter, regardless of weight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Holloway fight's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy's fighter is you know, just beat the Korean Zombie, and he gets the winner of that fight. So for the title,
Hey, there you
so
go.
it's going to be a great. But another UFC story. I don't know if anybody heard, but there was a UFC fighter that stabbed his sister, his 2 sisters, while they were sleeping, and saying someone told him to do it.
Wow.
He got arrested and attempted murder, and they survived. He killed them. So he went running, and they ended up catching him. And he told the cops that, "Hey, I murdered my sisters," and luckily they survived. But
Wow.
yeah, he messed up.
That's what I was gonna say. My question is that more? Do you think that's more drug related, or do you think that's like a Chris Benoit situation where medically after he died, it was proven that Chris Benoit, who died, God, was he 40 something, had the brain of an 85-year-old because of all the headshots he took? Do you think it might?
It's probably both.
Yeah.
And you know, they get paid to get hit in the head for a living.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to be CTE issues,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be, you know, in 20 years it'll be interesting to see what they say about UFC.
It's gonna be like football, where they just come and just randomly start talking about it. Speaking of taking hits to the head, let's hit the ice really quick. Sadly, we got another death, gentlemen. Sadly, the NHL family lost former coach John Muckler. He was 86 years old, another legendary coach as well. So rest in peace to John Muckler. Rest in peace. God dang it. I'm killing myself over here. Condolences to his family. Condolences to the NHL. I'm tired of all these deaths, man. I can't take it anymore. This is getting ridiculous.
Right.
There is good news, though. I do have good news to follow, I promise. Team USA defeated Canada in Canada to win the World Juniors gold medal. So shout out to Team USA for that.
They lost their first game too, and they had to go to the bracket.
Yeah, they won the bracket. They rolled the bracket. So the thing about USA, it's like you never know what you're gonna get. Like we said, when Tommy had the baseball team, they had Ben Sheets and like this other big name kid, but other than that, it was like, oh, that we're just gonna give you all these kids from colleges and see what you can do, and then you're not gonna beat Cuba, you're not gonna beat the DR or whoever they had, and then they go off and beat Cuba for the gold medal. It's like you never know what you're gonna get when a team comes together. Like you've talked about, George, the Dallas Mavericks when they beat was it Miami, I believe it was. You always
2011.
talk about that. Yeah, you always talk about that. It's the same thing. You never know
Yeah.
what you're gonna get.
Mhm.
NHL season starting next week, gentlemen. So it's going to be an interesting one with all the trades and all the stuff that went down. A lot of big major names are down as well. We talked about last week. Hendrik Lundqvist is having heart valve replacement, so he's done for the season. We had a big trade. Zdeno Chara, been with Boston for 14 years. Washington D.C. now with the Capitals, and he looks weird in those colors. We're going to talk about that in a minute. With that said, Zdeno Chara did leave the Bruins. He's been with the Boston Bruins for over 14 years. Me and Gilbert talked about this last week. 14 years, tallest guy. He's like 7-something on skates. He has a 104-mile-an-hour slap shot, left-handed slap shot, mind you. He was the captain for so many years. He left. He's in Boston or in DC now. Like I said, it looks just funky in that jersey. Boston, though, has 2 stories that have happened this week. Their goalie, all-star Tuukka Rask, says he wants to play out his contract. He only has a couple years left. He doesn't want to go anywhere else. He said straight up, once I'm done, I'm done. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to be traded. I don't want to go on the bench. I want to start for Boston. That's what I want to do. And he made it very apparent, and Boston's obliging. They signed him. He's got, I think, 2 years left or something like that on his contract. He's a killer goalie, man. He really is. He was behind Thomas for so many years when Tim Thomas took him to the Stanley Cup the last couple of years. So it should be interesting. Again, Zdeno Chara was the captain of the Boston Bruins. Another huge name is their new captain, Patrice Bergeron. If you've ever heard of him, he's been in jail for a long time, all-star. He's their new captain. Again, I'm just talking about weird-looking jerseys. I want to jump in with you guys. We're going to go to NBA in a minute. Besides Jordan, because that's the obvious one, what is someone wearing a random jersey that got traded to a random team or picked up by a random team that you're just like, that just doesn't look right?
Gary Payton to the Celtics.
Gary Payton to the Celtics. It doesn't have to be basketball. It could be anything. Mine would be Piazza to the Marlins and Randy Moss to the Titans. Look pretty funky. So what about you, George? What you got?
Dang, I gotta go with what GA said, like Gary Payton to the Celtics.
Celtics?
Let me think of something more. Man, I can't think on the spot right now.
Well, you're in the wrong spot then. Come on now.
I think Sean Kemp the Magic too.
What happened?
That looked kind of.
It
no,
weird.
Sean Kemp.
Oh, Sean Kemp?
Yeah, when he went to the Magics.
See, it just
that looked kind of funky.
It just looks weird. It's like it's just not right. It
looks weird.
Well, like,
and Patrick Ewing, when he moved to what team did he go to too? I think he went to the Magic as well. I'm not sure.
Something like that. Yeah. But
something like that.
It doesn't have to be basketball. It could be football. What about like Joe Montana with the Chiefs? It just doesn't look right. It just looks weird. Brett Favre with the Vikings. I'm stealing ones. I'm sorry, Coach.
I think for me, probably Tom Brady to the Buccaneers.
That is a good one. And now he's killing it with them. Go figure. Coach,
yeah.
Well, Shaq with the Celtics.
Okay.
Oh, that one too. Yep.
But Piazza with the Marlins was huge.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't. It wasn't right. Ken Griffey to the Reds.
That was
a big one.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Even I benefited. The Dodgers benefited. Garcia Parra on the Dodgers was a big one. And Mark. Speaking of the Chiefs, Marcus Allen to the Chiefs was as a Raven. That kind of.
I just thought about something else. Sorry to cut you off, Coach. Allen Iverson to the Detroit Pistons.
Oh yeah,
that was it.
And Allen Iverson to the Denver Nuggets.
Yep.
No, that one looked good.
So,
no, the Pistons one is more sensible.
Well, in a nutshell. So we're going to wrap this up because we're like way over on time. We're just saying, people getting traded. Yes, you got the money, or either you're getting more money, or your career is declining. And you're getting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I got one more.
Go ahead.
Otto Hershiser to the Giants.
Which one?
Otto Hershiser.
Oh my God! Yes. Yeah.
I forgot about that one. That one's that was like, what?
Or I got one more. Karl
Oh,
Malone to the Los Angeles Lakers.
That
Which
was
one?
weird. Yeah, it's so funny, and it's gonna keep happening. It's gonna keep happening, especially when it's a rival. That's my favorite. Jeff Kent, when he went to the Dodgers, that was huge.
They should have kept him.
Yeah, we're not even going there, but yeah, I agree. So in a nutshell, gentlemen, it's just weird. And of course, Jordan was probably the biggest one. Jordan to the Wizards,
yeah, I didn't like
45.
that one.
It was just funky. I went Wizards because I got a Wizard story. Bradley Beal, talked to Coach about this one. He scored 60. Congratulations. Yay. Your team still lost.
But
how much would that suck? How much would that suck to score 60 points and still lose? Coach is laughing. What you got, Coach?
Well, he dropped 40 and they lost today. So he scored.
Jeez, that's 100 points in 2 games.
But Bill, that's why I want Bill to be traded from there so bad. He's such a good player and he plays his heart out, and they're not going to do anything there.
Man.
He's an underrated player. Him and Bill and McCollum, CJ from the Trailblazers, are the two most underrated players in the league.
Oh,
I
definitely.
think. If you put them on any other team, they kill it.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad that Kobe, when he scored 60 his last game, that they actually won.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Not.
So that's a story that you can't rewrite. You can't write that kind of stuff. So up the state here a little bit, Steph Curry scored 62. They actually did win that game, I believe, against the Blazers. So shout out to the 3-point king himself.
Dame was talking trash on Curry.
Ricky.
Yo.
Speaking about Curry, I think
his brother
ended up getting COVID, right?
Yep, I heard that this morning.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Now you got to be careful out there.
What were you saying, Coach? I wanted to hear Coach.
Coach had something.
No, Dave was talking trash on Curry because they had played him the game before and they beat him by like 30.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about Curry. Hey, it's not that easy to get shots anymore now that you don't have a all-star lineup. And he dropped 62 on Dame, and they
go.
Curry. He's not going to have the year. He's not MVP anymore, and he's not going to be the same without Clay. But don't sleep on him.
Absolutely, I agree. He's one that I don't think is going to slide anytime soon. So it's funny. It's not funny, haha, but funny, like unique that you mentioned the COVID thing about Seth Curry because KD has to miss. I think he's missed. He was ordered to miss 4 games due to COVID-related issues. They're not saying if he has it. They're not saying if he was exposed. They just said COVID-related issues. That's all they.
Well, no, they did. Ricky, they did say he was exposed because he already.
God.
So he was exposed, and he has to be in quarantine, and he has to test clean for 5 straight days.
Okay.
I thought it was 7.
He's gonna miss 4 games.
Yeah, it's 7 days, 4 games. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And
see, this is what I didn't want.
I don't even know if you have this. Is that did you see the reason why Kyrie didn't play? I posted on Instagram right now.
Well, what happened?
His excuse was personal reasons. He didn't tell the coach, but he said, "I just didn't want to play."
Did he post? He didn't post that, did he?
Check the P40 Instagram.
Oh my gosh, you gotta be.
He said, "I didn't want to." The real reason, I just didn't want to play.
How was Steve Nash?
Yeah, because like when I saw that, like I thought he meant something more to it.
Wow.
But then like when I looked deep into it, I didn't even see any other detail besides that. So like I don't know what Kyrie was thinking saying that because like bro, you're not gonna play because you don't want to play. Like bro, you got like a team with KD, you got like some great teammates like Spencer Dinwiddie, even though he's hurt, and then you have Karis LeVert. You got two guys that are great shot blockers in DeAndre Jordan and Jared Allen, and you guys could be arguably the best team in the Eastern Conference. And then you say this, like Kyrie, I just lost so much respect for you. You're supposed to be a leader. Yes, you're a great player. Yes, you're like a bona fide superstar. But bro, man, this is not a good look for you and your team. This is gonna wreck your reputation for like a while now because like people know exactly who you are. With all the pass up that you've done, like bro, come on, man, play some basketball, earn your money,
Uh-huh.
impress the fans, and that's all you have to do.
Your thing.
Don't make this about you. The world does not revolve around you, bro.
Absolutely. Go
So
ahead,
shut
Gilbert.
up and dribble.
Yeah, shut up and dribble. Go ahead, Gilbert.
I'm just gonna say this: the Nets are starting to look like the Clippers of the East, man.
Why you
Really,
say that?
Because all the drama, man. Like, just focus on the game. But Kyrie can't even do that because he's always doing something off the court and saying something that just is distracting the whole team.
No,
and
no.
now,
Sorry to cut you off, G. Like the only way they could be like the Clippers is when they're a good team and they choke in the and
Why
they
you gotta
fail
go there?
past second round.
Bro,
That's the only way
trying
they
to be
could be like the
objective on this
Clippers.
show for at least one show. Come on,
Yeah, I'm just
man.
throwing it out there. But yeah, go
No.
ahead, finish.
but you know what? I actually had a question for Coach because, Coach, if you were in this situation and one of your players said this to you, what would you do? Like, personally, me, I would go crazy, man. I'm like, come on, man. Like, come on. What would you do?
It'd be what type of league or what type, like the NBA?
Yeah.
Suspended for sure.
Yeah.
Just because I was assigned to the other guys, like you saw what happened after we won the title at Long Beach.
Mm-hmm.
One of our players didn't return because of the way he acted on the bench.
Yep.
When we won the tournament, and he was selfish because he wasn't getting enough playing time, so he wasn't asked back.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't put up with stuff that they put self before team. I don't put up with those guys, and I've seen a lot of posts lately. Oh, Kyrie's better than Dame, and Kyrie's better than this guy. And I'm like, no, there's no way. Like Kyrie's not even a top 15 player in my eyes. He's a top 5 scorer. Like ball handler, best handles in the league by far. Like nobody close to him handles wise. And finishing at the rack, layup package.
Absolutely.
But his head is not there. He needs to be like the 3rd best player on the team.
Absolutely. You want to talk about being a center of attention? LeVar Ball is on cloud 9 right now. He's got 2 of his boys in there right now, and another one, LiAngelo, apparently just signed to go to the G League, which is good for him because getting released by Detroit, and now hopefully someone will see him in the G, and he'll get to get picked up maybe by like a lower level team or something, and he'll get to be picked up. We'll see about that. But let's be real.
Joe just needs to go overseas.
No, he is. He's an overseas player. I agree. No,
he's not
any of our overseas guys or girls. But I get it.
He could get mad money and be a superstar over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
He just needs to go there, and Melo's the real deal. So Lonzo's is Lonzo, but Melo's a star.
Yep, and those boys faced off tonight.
Yes, they did.
Gilbert's Hornets went at it. I believe the Hornets. Yeah, Hornets came out on top 118 to 110.
It was a close game from
Yeah,
what
Melo messed around and got a triple double. He was 1 assist short.
Yes, sir.
And I think LaMelo outscored his brother Lonzo tonight too.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lonzo
I'm
had
checking it
5
right
points,
now.
2 assists. Lonzo sucked.
12, yeah. Lonzo, yeah. Well, let's see. LaMelo had 12. Lonzo had 5. Oh, wow. He only had 5. But yeah.
Well, Melo had 12, 11, and 9, though.
Okay.
11 rebounds, 9 assists. So Melo's going to be the
Melo's
business.
beast, dude.
And if he can step up his defense, he'll be a superstar.
I think he'll be. I've said this for a while. I think he's going to be the best of the 3.
It's
And I
crazy
think
because
And I think what's disappointing was not because of the points, it's just because of the assist total. Like Lonzo Ball finished with 2 assists,
Yeah.
and then his brother finished up with 9 assists.
Yeah.
So that tells you like who's the better player.
Yeah. Gilbert, you were saying something. Yeah.
no, it's just crazy to see Melo doing the things he does. He's so tall. It's like I never got to see
6'7".
Magic Johnson play, but from Magic Johnson was a top player and he was a point guard, and Melo's like just the way he plays, man. It's just he dishes out the ball like nothing, man. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Melo was a little run like 2 years ago. He was like 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah, he was really little in high school. Yeah.
His slow spurt saved him, or he like Jello and being overseas.
Mm-hmm.
I want to, before you go any farther, Ricky, this is the first time I ever noticed this on George's wall.
Uh-oh.
Oh gosh.
Drawing is legit. Who drew that?
Actually, I did. It took me like
wow.
almost an hour finishing that up, and I have more on my wall, but it's on this side of the wall.
Hey, no
Nice.
cap.
Good
That's legit. I was eyeing that right now. That's amazing, George.
Yeah,
Post
and then
those
like
and get
if you could
details, bro.
see, like there's Michael Jordan, there's Kevin Durant when he was at OKC.
You guys
There's
seeing
like
it
Kobe
firsthand
Bryant
right
at the
here.
corner.
We got George's Instagram at GoBaller. Was it 246?
Yeah, watch
Yeah,
you
go
out,
watch
George. You
Trying to
got
get that out
skills,
there
George.
for you.
and then I got Carmelo Anthony when he played for the Knicks.
Watch out.
That Carmelo actually might be the best one yet.
Yeah, man, I love that drawing. That's my favorite drawing I did. Him and my
Yeah.
son.
Stealing the show.
That one's on point, George.
We're making up for all the
Yeah.
times we burn you. We're just giving you the love tonight, bro. That's no legit, bro. Legit. That's awesome. You could probably
Yeah,
sell those.
so-
I guarantee you probably could sell those.
You got skills,
Yeah.
Find people
George.
to buy them off you, for sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that, guys. I'm thinking.
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
gonna be cool. Next
I
we're
need
gonna
a
jump
P4E
in.
drawing,
Yeah,
George.
go ahead, coach. You were saying something.
I need a P4E drawing.
That would be dope.
Hey, yo, man, send me a picture, and then
hey.
I'll get that done.
I want the championship from Long Beach picture.
That's a dope picture.
Okay,
I got it, actually.
send one to me, and then I got you, coach.
All right.
There you go. That'd be
Sorry,
sick.
Ricky. I got distracted by seeing Chris Paul in the background. I
Those
was
are
like,
dope. No, those are dope. We need to give him some love. Maybe we get him some pay. We just want a little piece of it later. Okay, so after giving all the love to George, we got to give a little bit of love to NXT. Gilbert, did you see New Year's Evil? Yes or no?
I did not.
Damn you!
But
I'm
I
gonna
did
carry
the
the whole thing.
results.
Did you see the results and the highlights? Okay. So we're going to try to go through this as quick as we can. Usually I try not to do wrestling pay-per-views unless it was just epic. And this one was epic. It was this past Wednesday. Every single match was good. Every single match. And this is after laying a huge egg last week when the AEW had done the tribute to Brody Lee. Exactly. I thought it was pretty good. So it was pretty cool what they did for Brody's son, and it's just awesome. This match was really good. Karrion Kross against Damian Priest. Karrion Kross is undefeated. He actually got injured, had to have surgery when he was the champion, remember, and he lost the championship because he had to go get surgery and hasn't had a rematch since. He comes back, he fights Damian Priest. These are like two basketball players going at it. These dudes are tall, they're buff, and they're just two badasses going at it. Damian Priest was flying all over the place. This guy's like, what, 6'6", 270. This guy's flying.
He's big, man.
It was
I
nuts.
heard they were trying to mix Cross into the whole Owens and Roman Reigns situation. I think that was his name, right?
Possibly. Karrion Kross is such a good character. He can carry himself doing anything. Like, honestly, especially with Scarlett next to him, I think they're going to take over NXT. I really do. Karrion Kross ends up choking out Damian Priest. I'm going to try to run through this as quick as I can because we got to get to the NFL. Cruiserweight title was really good. Grand Metalik, who's a lucha. Grand Metalik took on Santos Escobar. I can't stand Santos Escobar. He drives me crazy. But Santos Escobar walked away the champion. Again, any cruiserweight match you get, they're going to be flying. They were flying everywhere. It was awesome. Xia Li made her big return. They had this stupid where they sent her away because she kept losing. And now she's back as this like Mortal Kombat Chinese warrior. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But it was kind of funny. I got like a Karate Kid vibe when she first came out because she had her Grandmaster sitting right there in the middle when she came out. But she was really good. Raquel Gonzalez, Rhea Ripley, probably the two big female badasses of NXT. Raquel Gonzalez is getting a big push in NXT, and I think there's a reason behind it. She did end up beating Rhea Ripley. This match was awesome. There was interferences, there was weapons, there was high flying. Raquel Gonzalez got thrown through a glass window. Like, it was crazy. This match was absolute nuts. But what I really wanted to mention was, I think, first of all, that Rhea's going to get a call-up. I think she's going to either – the Royal Rumble's coming. Royal Rumble is coming at the end of the month, and that's usually when a lot of call-ups will come in. So I have a feeling she's going to get a call-up to Monday Night Raw. Raquel Gonzalez is going to be the new badass of NXT. She won the match. She's the new badass of NXT. Another match that was impromptu was Kushida and Shotzi Blackheart. You know Shotzi Blackheart. She did a lot of indie work out here in like Reseda and places like that. They took on Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae also did a lot of indie work out here as well. That match was impromptu, but it was a great push for Kushida, who ended up pinning Johnny Gargano, which means he'll more than likely get a North American title shot, which I think is pretty awesome. And Shotzi's just getting the spotlight, and I love it. NXT title, absolutely awesome match. Absolutely. Kyle O'Reilly, Finn Balor, part 2. They got match of the year for their first match. This one lived up to the hype just as much. Technical, hard hitting. There's a receipt given. You know what a receipt is? When you end up, someone did something bad to you, you do it back to them. So he got back at Kyle O'Reilly, who had broken Finn Balor's jaw. Finn Balor ends up walking out the NXT champion. So it was just a killer show. This is an awesome show. And there's big superstars that are going to be future Hall of Famers in it, and it was just straight epic. So now I'm going to jump into the NFL. Gentlemen, welcome back. We're going to go to the NFL. Gilbert, go plug in your phone. A Hall of Fame candidates. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, that the Hall of Fame was at 25 or something like that. It is down to 15 now. So I want to see what you guys think about the 15. It's down to Jared Allen, Rondé Barber, Tony Boselli, I'm sorry, Leroy Butler, Alan Faneca, Torrey Holt, Megatron Calvin Johnson, John Lynch, who I feel should have been in already, Peyton Manning going in, Clay Matthews, Sam Mills, Richard Seymour, probably going to get in as well. Zach Thomas, I think he's one of the more underrated names here. Amazing player. I think he might not get in this year, but he will get in a couple. Reggie Wayne, who you mentioned, I believe, or no, you more Harrison, but Reggie Wayne was his running mate those years in Indy. And Charles Woodson. So I'm going to go to George first. You heard the names last time we talked. What do you think about the 15 that we got now?
I think that's a good list. Because each player that you mentioned, like they brought something to the table that made them so great. Like you mentioned Reggie Wayne and then Coach mentioned Marvin Harrison. Those were like the two top wide receivers like that played in the Indianapolis Colts. And I believe that year they went undefeated on the season and actually won the Super Bowl, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think like with those types of players, I think they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
So great list in my opinion.
Gotta ask you like I did last time, who are you putting in? Peyton, obviously.
That's tough.
Peyton, obviously.
Peyton Manning. Yeah, I love Peyton Manning.
What about
Peyton
someone like you said, Richard Seymour last time, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, Richard Seymour. I like him because I knew him because he did play for my New England Patriots. So yeah, Richard Seymour is pretty dope.
Patriots fan?
Well, I'm a Tom Brady fan, but he did play on the same team.
Bro.
That's why I mentioned Tom Brady to the Buccaneers, but yeah, but I also like the LA team since they brought the Rams back into LA. So
you're killing me, Smalls. You were doing so good this show. The Patriots, why?
No, Tom Brady. But
Coach, I'm gonna go to you. What do you think?
Yeah.
Who do you think's getting in?
Well, you could vote for 5, right?
I think so.
In the NFL, I think so. Peyton Manning for sure. Megatron's going to be in for sure.
Okay.
For the locks. I'm surprised Torrey Holt hasn't been in. Reggie Wayne should be in. Tony Boselli would have been in already if he didn't get hurt, because he had a short 9-10 year career. Mm-hmm. He was the best tackle there was while he played. But Alan Faneca, I think, is a sleeper. That dude was a Pro Bowl every year. And
yeah.
I think he should be in. John Lynch should be in. But the 5 would be Megatron. This is who I would put in, not who I think is going to go in. It's different. Mm-hmm. Megatron, Peyton, Reggie Wayne, Holt, and Faneca.
All right. Okay. I got Peyton.
But there's a lot more that should be deserved, but you can only vote for 5. I agree.
Yeah. If I had to pick 5, oh man. Peyton for sure. John Lynch, Megatron. I'm going to bring in Reggie Wayne. I think he's very underrated. I think he should, like you said, he should have been in a while ago. God, who would my 5 be? I got Zach Thomas is a sleeper for me. You got your sleeper. I got Zach Thomas. I'm gonna go with Seymour, but I got Zach Thomas right there. G, you're back, so I'm gonna let you do yours real quick, and then we're gonna move on. I'm gonna give you real quick the 15 that are in the 15 NFL Hall of Fame candidates.
Okay,
possibly going in. You ready?
run it.
All right. Jared Allen, Rondé Barber, Tony Baselli, Leroy Butler, Alan Faneca, Torrey Holt, Megatron Calvin Johnson, John Lynch, Peyton Manning, Clay Matthews, Sam Mills, Richard Seymour, Zach Thomas, Reggie Wayne, and Charles Woodson. Pick 5. Did you just freeze? Seriously? There he is. Pick 5.
I didn't get to hear the last few. You kind of glitched out.
Last few: Sam Mills, Richard Seymour, Zach Thomas, Reggie Wayne, and Charles Woodson.
Oh man, that list is crazy. Give me Jared Allen,
Okay.
Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson,
Ooh.
Clay Matthews,
Okay.
and Megatron.
Wow. Okay, so we all got. I like the fact that we all got different. I think that's super cool.
Actually, I didn't hear Woodson the first time. Woodson would be my 5th for sure.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Woodson is in there as well.
Mm,
He's another one that
that
killed
list-
it everywhere he went, even when he was in Green Bay. You know?
Yeah.
But that list is crazy overall, though. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of good players.
Yeah. So they're gonna narrow that down soon too. Right now. What was that? Someone said something. Okay, so we're good. Okay. Yeah. So let's go ahead. Now that we got the Hall of Famers, let's jump into the season a little bit. Now that it's finally over, 2020 was absolutely insane. Like Gilbert said, COVID destroyed so many games, especially for the Ravens. You know, teams like that. Cleveland right now, I don't know how they're going to go into a playoff game with as many people missing as they are. Before we get into the playoffs, we're going to cover a couple little things. Draft order: Jacksonville, Jets, Miami via a trade, Atlanta, and Cincinnati. You're the Jaguars. You're obviously taking Lawrence. The Jets, number 2. I don't know who Miami's going to take. I really don't. Or if they're even going to take anybody. Maybe they, like you said, maybe they trade down. What do you think, Coach? You think they'll trade down?
Well, it depends on who's willing to trade up for a quarterback or something. So,
Yeah, it's true because they're
so
struggling.
they need some wide receiver help in Miami.
True.
Maybe a running back. Harris from Alabama would be amazing,
It's true.
but they could drop down to get him.
Mm-hmm.
So I would stop there. I would try to drop down and get like 2-3 first-round picks.
Yeah. Well, Miami has the number 3 pick and the number 18 pick because 18 was originally there.
Yeah, so they could package them both and get like 5 or 6 picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
This year, a couple next year.
That's true. They
I could see that. I
See
could
where
see
it
that.
goes.
Yeah, that's true. Also, we'll go through that real quick because we're running out of time. Black Monday just happened. Black Monday, if you don't know, that's the Monday after the last day of the season where everybody gets fired. I'm just gonna go real quick through. You guys can give me reactions on. Well, duh, we expected that. Jets fire Coach Gasse or Gacy or whatever his name is. Jags fire Coach Marone, which we all saw coming. Chargers fire Coach Lynn. We can talk about that one just a smidge because I didn't expect that. And the Bengals bring back Coach Taylor. Chargers fire Coach Lynn. You're wearing a Chargers shirt, Gilbert. Talk to me. Why are they firing him? They had a reasonable year.
Well, I mean, in a way, it's kind of not surprising. He did have a first good season with the team, and then the last couple of years been really up and down.
Mm-hmm.
But I really thought they were gonna bring him. Well, I thought they would have given him another chance the upcoming year. But man, just hearing that they fired him, it's like kind of
Sad. Coach, did you see that one coming? Coach Lynn going down?
Nah, after the first 10 games this year, his job was sealed already that he was going to lose it. Because you lose, they still ended up 7-9, I think.
Yeah.
At least 6 of the losses were last-second losses. They could be the top 3 seed in the AFC because they had all those games won, and there was poor like time management. So they couldn't
questionable calls.
bring him back. They had to make a move, even though he's one of the nicest guys in the NFL. They had to make a move and make a change, and
Crazy.
that's the best job by far. I know the Jags have the number 1 pick and all this money to spend, but they have a quarterback and they have 3 of the best defensive players in the league.
Yeah.
And not to mention the quarter. It's a young quarterback,
rookie quarterback.
and he
Yeah.
did
Yeah, they have. He's
Remember,
the best quarterback of the class.
Yeah.
And both they have Ingram and they have the strong safety that was out for the year. So they're the best spot. So whoever's going in there, they should hire the enemy from the Chiefs. If they got him, it'd be a wrap.
Oh,
Mhm.
That would be cool. Another big name stepped away as well. Matt Schaub, finally, after trying, came back with Houston, I believe, with Atlanta all those years. Matt Schaub's finally hanging him up. So shout out to Matt Schaub for all those years, killing it on the gridiron. Let's talk about someone who really kills it. I'm not saying this as a Titan fan. I'm saying this as an NFL fan. King Henry, over 2,000 yards again. Second year in a row he's done this, that he's done this. And then also shout out, this is going to hurt me because we're playing this guy on Sunday, Lamar Jackson, the cover, Matt Madden, he's rushed. This is a quarterback. He's rushed 1,000 yards for 2 years straight. Like, as a coach, would that bother you? The fact that his rushing numbers are higher than his passing numbers, or
you play to win the game, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how you win the game, you win the game. So you put players in the best way to get their spot. I'm praying that he doesn't have the Madden jinx and get hurt.
Well, he was out for.
He was out.
I still remember Michael Vick. Was on the cover, and the next year he got hurt.
Yeah. Well,
and he wasn't the only player.
Yeah. And I'm scared because apparently there's rumors that King Henry's on next year's, and I'm like, dear God, no.
I was about to mention that Lamar Jackson reminds me of Michael Vick, man. Just
a bigger version, though. He's way bigger than Michael Vick. He's a little slower, but he's a lot bigger, like muscular wise. He's huge.
Well, he can throw the ball better too.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Jackson. He's a better passer than people think he is, but you got to play your strong suits. And can't be afraid of getting hurt and stuff. If that happens, it happens. But the coach, you got to put your players in the best spot forward. If they're a 3-point shooter, you don't put them on the post. That's why people would get mad at Gasol not going in the post as much. He was a finesse big. You put him in, you don't force somebody to be what they're not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what happened when D'Antoni coached the Lakers. Going to that for a little bit. I did not think. I don't think Coach D'Antoni was a great hire for the Lakers that year, and that's what kind of destroyed their chances of them being a good team.
Well, anytime you bring in any kind of new coach who has a new system, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, there's a time period a learning period and learning. They should learn the team. That's what I'm personally. I mean, unless it's a team that's losing a lot. Someone comes into the Jets, someone comes into the Jags. You don't need to learn their system. You bring in your system. But if you're winning, why would you want to change that? What was that?
You slowly do it. You slowly work it in.
Yeah.
You don't force Paul Gasol to be a 3-point shooter.
No.
Or to be a pick and roll player. Two things they're not. You flip that. You make Paul Gasol a pick and roll player, and you make Howard go to the rack.
And it's funny because the next year when he went to the Bulls, he ended up being an all-star, and he was shooting from the 3-point range like nothing, man. So
yeah, so
this is just give him some time, if anything.
Yeah, exactly. So the point is, it's not the player. You should adapt to the player. I'm just saying. All right, back to football. The Titans win the AFC South on a freaking doink field goal. I swear to God, I almost threw something at my TV. I was like, you got to be kidding me. That did not just happen. You guys saw my video. He kicked. First off, he made the field goal when they called the timeout, which pissed me off. I knew it was coming. Cornell calls the timeout. They went right through the post, right through the middle. Perfect. And then after that, he goes to kick it again. You can see he got shaken up a little bit. He kicks it. It goes off of the post, the right post, and flings to the left. If it goes to the right, we go to overtime, possibly lose. It goes to the left, goes through. It was like something out of a movie. It was so slow motion for me. I was like, oh my God, wait, did that just happen? Oh my God, it went through. It was crazy. So it is a weird way to end a division championship winning season, but not as weird as the Washington football team. The Washington football team wins the NFC East or least or whatever you want to call it. Sorry, Gilbert.
Weak division, man.
Little controversy. But you know what drives me crazy? Not just the Giants fans, but people are coming out, oh, well, the Eagles didn't play hard and they pulled Jalen Hurts. And the Giants players were calling out the WFT, calling out Ron Rivera, calling out that they're, you shouldn't have been trying to play like that as hard as you were. Peterson, you weren't even trying. Both of them, they called it WFT and they called out Philly. on like what the hell are you doing? You know, our season's on the line. Here's an idea, guys. Don't make it come down to one game where you're tied with the same record and having to depend on a last place team. That's my rant for the day, George. There you go. So what do you say, George, on that? You probably saw the game. Come on now.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I actually agree with you, you know. But yeah, the Eagles, yeah, it should not have came down to it like you said. But the thing is, the Eagles have been a bad team all year. Like it just happens that they're in a bad division. But yeah, at the same time, like I was disappointed on what Doug Peterson did. Like pulled out Jalen Hurts in the fourth quarter.
Before that. Well,
before that, yeah.
He said that it was already planned that he was going to do that. At his press conference, he said he was going to give that other kid some PT, which is fine. Yeah, coach, I got you right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but it's the way he's going about it, right?
Yeah.
So none of his players knew it.
Yeah, that's not right.
See Kelsey, who's a Pro Bowler, his reaction. He lost. I don't think you could bring Peterson back because
not after what he did.
You know, because it's fine not winning, but one, you need to see what Jalen Hurts got. It's not like say Wentz was the starter, and you pulled him out. You already know what Wentz could do.
Yeah.
You don't know what Jalen Hurts could do, so you let him play and get him experience. But if you're not going to win, if you're not going to try to win, that's fine. You're already out of the playoffs. You say, hey, I'm going to be playing this guy, and you rock. You play. You go from the very beginning.
Yeah.
You don't go in a 3-point game. You don't take out your starter who scored the only 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was the funny part.
Yeah,
and was the only reason you're in the game, and then say you're really trying to win the game.
Yeah,
that made no sense.
You know, and you say, hey, I want to give this guy's earned. I respect him for saying, hey, you know, this guy's earned it. He's practiced with us for 2 years, whatever. He deserved time. Yes, that's okay. I don't say I'm trying to win the game because you're not at that point.
Obviously not.
You know, the Giants, you know, they can't be mad because they lost 10 games this year.
Yeah.
You know, so they can't be mad.
Exactly. That's what it comes down to. There's no other way to put it.
It works out because Washington has the best story in the NFL this year. So
yeah.
They're making the playoffs.
It's just nuts. I mean, people say it's controversy. I think it's just don't complain. It was messed. That whole thing minus Ron WFT. WFT did what they had to do. They needed to win, and they won. They went in to win, and they won. Yes, they got a division title with a very weak record, but regardless, in the record books, they're going to be the NFC East champions. It's just that simple. So, other people that got in, the Browns beat the Steelers JV team, we'll say. But now they're going to get their Steelers A team in the playoffs, which we'll talk about in a minute. Ravens crushed Cincinnati. Again, they're playing my Titans. And unfortunately, the Colts beat the Jaguars, which was having me sweat the entire time because our game was so close with Houston. I was going nuts. Ravens and Colts, Browns are in. The Dolphins are out because of that. Browns coach Stefanski, I feel so bad for this guy. 20 plus years or whatever it is, the Browns haven't been in the playoffs. Finally make the playoffs. Now, due to COVID reasons, Coach Stefanski will not be coaching the team in this historical game, which kind of sucks. But like we talked about before, I mean, got to be smart out there. I mean, you're a coach. I mean, what do you say about this situation right here?
Well, this year is different than any other year.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why the NFL couldn't allow him to coach virtually.
That is true.
See them in the stadium like they did Justin Turner in the World Series game. You know, he should still be a part of the coaching, and you could safely without cheating. You limit his, the time he could talk. You limit the time he could, okay, he can't talk to the players, but he can talk to the coaches.
Yeah.
So different ways that you can limit and monitor what he's doing, so it's not cheating.
That's true.
But he should be involved in it. And it's not fair to the Browns, the Browns fans, not the players. Exactly. The Browns fans lost their team to Baltimore and then got their team back and then had to go through all these years of horrible play. And now they're finally in, and then
what happened this week?
And I just hope they beat the Steelers, and then I can Browns face.
That'd be awesome. And then, like I said, what's going on this week? They are, yeah, exactly. They weren't even the Baker hasn't even thrown a pass this whole week because they
They
can't
haven't
even go to the
practiced.
facility.
They can't practice.
They
So
can't go
like,
anywhere.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
One team that's not gonna have to worry about practicing, the Green Bay Packers, number one
That
seed.
bad man, Aaron Rodgers.
Bad man,
He's
Aaron
a
Rodgers.
bad man.
Yeah, I think it's funny the two State Farm guys got the number one. Two teams that did get in that I didn't see getting in, the Rams and the Bears. So I did not see the Bears are going to get absolutely crushed because they're playing New Orleans, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Hey, don't sleep. Don't sleep.
I don't know, bro. Well, if Kamara is on his game and Breeze doesn't get trucked, he in those ribs, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a close game. But
The Saints are notorious for
getting screwed by refs. I'm just kidding. I had to pull that out. Sorry, I had to pull that out. I had to pull that game out. I'm sorry. That was a horrible call. 2 years in a row. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I apologize. Go ahead, Coach. I'm
Well,
sorry.
the
You're off
year
for that, Ricky.
before, the dude can't even knock down a pass against the Vikings. So
Yeah, right.
For real.
The best thing ever that would ever happen this whole season would be if Washington beats the Buccaneers.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I would love that.
It was
Sorry,
amazing.
George.
That would have been. Oh man.
Oh,
These young guys, Tom Brady like 85 times in one game.
Alex Smith comes in and just rocks.
Hey, don't throw shade at Tom
That'd be a
Brady.
feel-good story right there. Alex Smith
He's throwing
taking
shade
from,
at Tom Brady.
Look, I Brady's the GOAT, but like the story that was Alex Smith and Ron Rivera, it'd be the best thing ever. Like I hate the Redskins. They were the Redskins, right? I've always not liked the team, because I rooted for Evan Smith and Troy Aikman and the guys at Cowboys for a while. But them winning the Super Bowl, like if any year of this any year,
This is the year if it happened.
2020,
Right?
guys. But if they were able to do anything in the playoffs, this would be the year, and it'd be amazing.
I agree.
I think it'll be a great story. Like that's a great way to rewrite history.
Right. Well, just this year in general.
Just
The
this year in
medical
general,
year.
yeah.
Two guys that almost lost their life. One to injury and one to cancer.
Yeah, it's so
There
true.
you go.
They're on the
That
same
is so
team.
true.
And that'd be amazing.
Yeah, so true. We're gonna jump into the playoffs in just a second because we're about 15 minutes out. Cardinals are out. Kyler Murray killed it all season, and then what happened?
He got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt, and it sucks because you could see the frustration on his face because he was making that push. And all they had to do was get the dub. Now the Rams are in. So, gentlemen, playoffs are set. That's why we're doing the show now. Tomorrow morning, right after our show, actually at 10 a.m., Colts are in Buffalo. Then after that, 1:40, we got the Rams and the Seahawks. 5:15, we got the Bucks and WFT. Coach, what's your predictions for Colts and Buffalo?
The Colts are being slept on, right? They have an amazing defense, but Buffalo is on fire. Josh Allen will be top 3 MVP. Probably will get third in the MVP vote, and they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah.
They may be the only team that could compete with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree 1,000%. George, what do you think for Colts?
Yeah, I 100% agree with Coach Don because, like he said, that they are a great matchup for the Chiefs because they do have a great defense.
Yeah.
But then they have that quarterback Josh Allen that has been good
Stephon
all
Diggs,
year.
They got Stephon Diggs
And Stephon Diggs too. Yeah.
The team's beast.
So I think I'll give this round to the Buffalo Bills winning it.
George, we had a show probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago, or I think it was like 4 weeks ago, and I said, watch out for Buffalo. Watch out for Josh Allen. These guys are ridiculous. Just watch out. All right, Rams and Seahawks.
That's the game of the first week.
Yeah.
They could go either way. It's going to be interesting to who starts for the Rams.
Yeah, and they won't announce
it. As far as
McVay is not announcing it.
Yeah, that makes me think that it's not going to be Goff.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Because then it would have been reported that Jared Goff
a long time ago.
Yeah.
But the Rams defense played really well against, the Seahawks. And the best matchup, Metcalf versus the Rams DBs, and it's a good matchup. It's going to be like a 16-13 game.
Yeah.
Scoring, it's going to be a 1 field goal game.
Yeah.
So all the games end up, except for that last one, which was Goff horrible. But that should those games either team could either lose that game or make it to the Super Bowl.
Wow, that's big words.
Those teams could play. The Rams are the best defense in the NFL right now.
Yeah, they're ready. They're
best player in football, Aaron Donald.
And then here's our sleeper game. You guys both are talking about this game. You're on one side, you're on the other. Bucks at WFT. I got WFT taking this one somehow, some way. I think they come out with a close win. Sorry,
my heart will say WFT.
Okay.
My brain will say a blowout.
Blowout. Okay, George. Without being biased, being a journalist and an analyst, what do you think?
So I'll keep it 1,000%. So with that matchup, like it'll be a great story if the Washington football team beat the Buccaneers. One, because it's an upset. Two, because of what you guys mentioned about the Alex Smith situation and the Washington football team situation as a whole. But I think like what Coach said, like I think you can't bet against Tom Brady because Tom Brady has been an historical quarterback that wins Super Bowls. Like, he won 6 Super Bowls with 9 appearances. So it wouldn't be surprising for them to like move on and beat the Washington football team. But however, it would be a great story if the Washington football team won that game. But
go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. They just got too many weapons.
Exactly.
Their weapons is crazy, and to watch, I would love to see Brady versus Rodgers championship game. They beat in the second round, not even in the championship, but it would be the next guys up. Yeah. So they're the 4 or 5 seeds.
It's gonna be a good one.
That'd be a great matchup, and whoever wins that game would go to the Super Bowl.
What I want to see, what's the kid's name that called out Brady? Young. I just once. I just want him to get him one time, just so he can like tackle, get up, and be all crazy and badass.
The best
I just want to see one.
Because Brady talks trash, right?
Yes, he does.
Brady's going to give it to him if he's touchdown. He's going right after Young, which is going to be amazing. Young's going to go right after him.
I want to see it.
He wants to play against the best.
Yeah.
That's why Young's going to be Hall of Famer.
Absolutely, I agree. Got 8 minutes. Okay. Let's go to the Sunday. Sorry. Let's go ahead and shoot to the Sunday games. These are going to be some, I don't want to say nail biters. I think they're going to be like knockdown dragouts, especially the Ravens and the Titans. You got freaking King Henry against Lamar Jackson. There's going to be a lot of running in this game. There's another way to put it. I have to do it, George. I have to be fair. We did pretty good against them this year. The Titans did. I think it's going to be really close. I think Titans come out, I'm going to say 3, if not 6. I don't think no more than that. I think Henry and Jackson are going to steal the show. There's no other way to put it. What do you think, Coach?
Whoever makes the play at the end of the game is going to win because it's going to be close. The Ravens have extra motivation because the Titans knocked them off after being the top seed last year.
Yeah.
And but Henry is the best player and was the MVP. He's not going to get it.
Yeah, but not a quarterback. But we'll leave it at that.
He's the most important player to any team in the NFL.
I agree.
And they're like a 4-win team.
It's going to be good.
Defense is definitely hurting. So
our defense, don't even get me started.
It's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I agree because our defense, our line is. I don't know how our Henry gets through with our line. That's all I'm gonna say. We need in the next draft. We need either a safety or a CB badly because Butler's doing what he can, but he's like our only big name. Like he's the only one that's really stepping up in that area. So we need some D. We need some defense. 140 Bears and Saints return. Drew Brees will be there. Kamara's supposed to be there. You said don't sleep on the Bears. Bears have a killer defense. I got the Saints by a touchdown.
The Saints should win, and Kamara is a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
He's and Michael Thomas is one of the best wide receivers.
Thomas.
The only reason the Bears even have a chance is because of Mack and the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Defense. It's going to be interesting how if the offense can score,
Mm-hmm.
then
Absolutely.
they may have a shot, but that could be a nail biter or a blowout. It's going to be one of the if the Saints get like 10 points, it's going to be like 30.
Yeah.
Nasty.
I agree. George, what you got?
Well, I think like out of these 3 games that I'm looking at on Sunday, I think the Ravens and the Titans are going to be like the biggest game, the most exciting game to watch because both teams are like Coach Don said, like the Ravens are motivated to go into this game and try to win it only because they lost. I believe they lost twice to your Titans, Ricky, if I'm be correct. Yeah. So I think Lamar Jackson is going to be hungry. He's going to be ready to go. And in terms of like the Browns and Steelers, man, I don't know, man. Like my heart is saying that the Steelers are going to win it, but I'm not going to be that surprised that the Browns could pull
That would be cool.
it on the Steelers.
You got to remember, it's the Browns versus the Steelers A team this time. So I got the Steelers by 10. Coach, this is our last pick.
The Steelers aren't the same Steelers though. They have no running game. So if Chubb and Hunt can control the game on their side,
true.
The Browns have a good shot. The Steelers can't stop anybody, and they can't run. So and Roethlisberger can't throw the ball down the field.
Yeah,
and that's exactly why I picked that game to be an upset because they can't even run the ball. And if the Steelers can't even run the ball, that's going to be a major problem for them going forward. Because
don't forget
you
weather.
have an old Ben Roethlisberger, and then
it's gonna be cold. Possibly snowing.
Yeah, the weather's gonna be cold. Like, the Cleveland Browns, man. I think they're really hungry only because they have not made the playoffs in quite so long.
The Baker's fired up.
They're
fired up.
Yeah, they're fired. They're a fired up team, so I wouldn't be surprised if
they have no pressure because they don't have their coach.
They have nothing to lose.
Players, so everybody's picking the Steelers to win, so they can play loose and have fun.
Yep, absolutely. It's gonna be a fun playoffs, guys. Honestly, and then next week you have the Chiefs and the Packers involved. It's gonna be even better. So yeah, it's gonna
I can't
be cool.
wait to see that game.
Yeah, well, they're not playing each other, but they're both in because they'll face the lower seed, whatever's left over. They'll face the lower seed.
I wish that matchup happened. That would have.
It could happen, bro.
Game of the
State
ages.
Farm battle.
That's going to be a game of the ages.
I don't want to.
State Farm is going to blow it up.
Well, they wanted that last year, and it didn't happen. It was so close.
Woo! They're going to make a lot of money on those commercials when that matchup happens.
Definitely. All right, gentlemen, I've held you over way too long. We usually go about an hour and a half. We're almost to that point. I usually do a big recap. I'm not doing a recap because I know you're tired. I know you're tired. We got football to watch tomorrow. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. Coach, thank you so much. George, thank you so much. Conspicuous by his absence, doing daddy duties. Gilbert, thank you so much. All I'm going to say, 2 things. Playoffs are going to be badass. And rest in peace to the legend, Tommy Lasorda. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not even going to do a sign-off. Rest in peace, Tommy Lasorda. Peace out, guys.